This disclaimer for Dear Esther, if you want to watch this, be aware that this is the full game shown in one sitting. So if you are worried about spoilers, or you just don't want to, ruin it for yourself, you want to do it yourself, please don't watch, but give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Hello everybody. This game came out today. It's called Dear Esther. Or, yeah, Esther, something like that. And it's not really like a shooting game or anything like that. It's more of a story. So I thought I might play it so you guys could enjoy the story, the cinematics, and not the cinematics, actually just the world itself that I was looking at is very pretty. And this is not the Steam mod, by the way. This is the actual game. Came out February 14th. So here we go. Press the start button. There's 4 chapters of this game, by the way. So we're going to go through each chapter. I will mark it out when we get to the second chapter if it's not in like the middle of everything. So, pretty little loading screen of dots. How pretty, they're gray. But the cinematics, or not the world, is supposed to be very beautiful, very lush, and then there's a storyteller that will talk to us and tell us what is going on. Or at least a story about it. So, it's a loading. And by the way, I hope you're enjoying all of our other games that we've been putting online. We, hope you're having fun. Thumbs them up, subscribe, give us, good ratings. Helps out every time. Same thing with this one. So, wait, here we go, almost to the end of the dots. Here we go, into the game we go.
Dear Esther, the morning after I was washed ashore, salt in my ears, sand in my mouth, and the waves always at my ankles, I felt as though everything had conspired to this one last shipwreck. I remembered nothing but water, stones in my belly and my shoes, threatening to drag me under to where only the most listless of creatures swim.
Alright, now I'm moving the camera, and already this is pretty awesome looking. How far in the water can we go? Whoa! Oh, I died. That was kind of creepy. I think I died.
Come back.
That was creepy. Well, we know not to go in the water now. Oh, the light flicked on for me. Ooh. I've also left the game at full volume just so you guys can get the full cinematic of it. Hey, a map of England. Maps, maps, maps. Also, so there is no enemies in this game. No matter how creepy it gets, don't worry about something jumping at you like a monster or anything like so. Let's see here. Oh, whoa. Hello. Someone really likes to paint here. Let's see if we go up in the lighthouse. Oh my, there's no jumping at all. It's just a walk in the park. Literally. Let's see if we can get up in that lighthouse. Be kind of cool. Oh, it's broken. Looks nice. Alright, So that's all I can see here from what I can tell. So let's move on. Oh, oh, falling down, falling down. The detail in this game is amazing. I know there's probably like copies or, you know, going over and over each other. But that's a cool rock. Little trap. Some Coca-Cola. I'll go up there in a
Those islands in the distance, I am sure, are nothing more than relics of another time, sleeping giants, somnambulist gods laid down for a final dreaming. I wash the sand from my lips and grip my wrist ever more tightly. My shaking arms will not support my fading diaries.
Yeah, we're gonna have interrupts from that guy throughout the game because he's part of it. What is this? Oh. I recall that's some type of witchcraft.
Dear Esther, I found myself to be as featureless as this ocean, as shallow and unoccupied as this bay, a listless wreck without identification. My rocks are these bones, and a careful fence to keep the precipice at bay. Shot through me caves, my forehead a mount. This aerial will transmit into me so. All overexposed, the nervous system, where Donnelly's boots and yours and mine still trample. I will carry a torch for you. I will leave it at the foot of my headstone. You will need it for the tunnels that carry me under.
Looks like we also had a car back there that fell off or has washed up or something. Alright, so let's go on up those stairs. This is like art. Storybook game. No fighting, no nothing, just hearing a nice story while looking at beautiful things and rundown things. Still beautiful. Look at this. Look. That is great texture. It's like they literally went out and just took tons of pictures of rocks and just were like, we're gonna take 40 bajillion sets of rocks here, and then we're going to try to make it look awesome. And they did. They did it. All the flora moving around a little bit. Oh, never mind. Hi, wave. Looking like it's moving correctly. Oh, hey, beacon. Oh, we can hear my footsteps finally.
The mount is clearly the focal point of this landscape. It almost appears so well placed as to be artificial. I find myself easily slipping into the delusional state of ascribing purpose, deliberate motive to everything here. Was this island formed during the moment of impact? When we were torn loose from our moorings and the seatbelts cut motorway lanes into our chests and shoulders, did it first break surface then?
I don't know. But this is just pretty.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boat, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh. I quote directly, "A motley lot with little to recommend them. I have now spent 3 days in their company. That is, I fear, enough for any man not born amongst them. Despite their tedious inclination to quote scripture, they seem to me the most God-forsaken of all the inhabitants of the Outer Isles. Indeed, in this case, the very gravity of that term, forsaken by God, seems to find its very apex. It appears to me that Donnelly, too, found those who wander this shoreline to be adrift from any chance of redemption. Did he include himself in that, I wonder?
There's the lighthouse I was at.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life. I find myself increasingly unable to find that point where the hermit ends and Paul and I begin. We are woven into a sodden blanket, stuffed into the bottom of a boat to stop the leak and hold back the ocean. My neck aches from staring up at the aerial. It mirrors the dull throb in my gut where I am sure I've begun to form another stone. In my dreams, it forms into a perfect representation of Lot's wife, head over her shoulder, staring along the motorway at the approaching traffic in a vacuum of fatalistic calm.
These drawings are interesting. With glow paint. Cool. Let's see if we can get to that little ship. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. We know that's bad. Water kills us.